Well guys, welcome to Dishonored 2. I'm actually going in totally blind to this one. I haven't learned anything about it yet. Although it seems like there may be two playable characters, judging by the fact that somebody's holding Corvo's mask, but then there's also a lady here. That guy might be Corvo. I'm not actually used to knowing what Corvo looks like because it's the whole last game was first person. That might be the girl we saved? Thank you for pre-ordering. I did not pre-order this game. Okay. Chapter 1. A Long Day in Dunwall. Today marks the anniversary of the death of Empress Emily Kaldwin, assassinated 15 years ago. Visitors from across the Empire of the Isles have journeyed to Dunwall Tower for the occasion. So it's been 15 years since the start of the first game, which means she's got to be 24-ish, I'd say. Maybe older, maybe even 30. I don't know how old she was at that game, actually.
Why do we celebrate the anniversary of an assassination? 15 years ago, in the middle of a plague that nearly destroyed Dunwall, a paid killer assaulted the palace where I was born and stabbed my mother in the heart. In the aftermath, the men who sent the assassin tried to use me as a pawn in a game of power. They would have succeeded, but my father, Corvo Attano, hunted them down and cut their conspiracy to pieces. All these years later, am I the ruler my mother wanted me to be? Now, we face a new crisis. A monster the papers are calling the Crown Killer has been picking off my enemies and dressing it up like my father and I are responsible. I don't know whether to get on a ship and sail to the opposite side of the world, or to have everyone around me executed.
Watch your step, Majesty.
I'm not looking forward to all the ceremony today.
Your signet ring. There, you're ready.
Thank you, Alexei. Open the doors.
All hail Her Imperial Majesty, Emily Kaldwin.
Loyal subjects, we're going through a difficult time, but today we honor my mother, the late Emily Kaldwin. May her memory survive through the ages.
Emily.
You look tired, Father.
Every year, I think the anniversary of Jessamine's death will be easier, but it never is.
I wish Mother was still the Empress. I don't think I'm very good at this.
You're still learning. Don't worry about the rabble-rousers, and we'll catch the Crown Killer, eventually.
People are saying it's you. That these assassinations are a misguided effort to protect me.
No, someone's trying to make us look guilty by targeting your enemies.
I wish I could just run away from all this.
Sometimes you do. You think I don't know about your nights out on the rooftops? Courage. The ceremony will be over soon.
Royal Protector and Father. I should have passed a law against that combination of titles years ago.
Your Majesty, before we begin the day's observances, we have an unexpected visitor, the Duke of Serkonos.
Ramsay says the Duke is bringing special gifts.
That's intriguing.
His Grace Luca Abel, Duke of Serkonos!
Mechanical soldiers? Amazing.
What is this, Ramsay? I didn't authorize those things.
Your Imperial Majesty and Royal Protector Corvo Attano, a native of our homeland. Serkonos offers condolences on this sorrowful day, and gifts to remind you of our nation, the rising star on the southern horizon.
We thank you, Your Grace.
Save your thanks. For now, I give you the greatest gift of all. Family. I present the lost sister of Emily Kaldwin, your rightful Empress, Delilah Kaldwin.
Impossible.
My mother had a sister?
My dearest niece, hello.
It's not true.
My father was Emperor Euhorn Jacob Kaldwin, and Jessamine was my younger sister. At the time of her death, I wasn't ready to make myself known to you, and I was forced to leave Dunwall. But now I'm home.
If you really are my mother's sister, you're welcome to stay as long as you like.
Little sparrow, blackened by bad memories, I'm here to relieve you of your crown. My father's promise, whispered in secret so many years ago, is now fulfilled.
Watch your tongue. Emily Kaldwin is the daughter of Empress Emily Kaldwin.
Royal Protector. How naive to think you could get away with these murders. Living in my palace has protected you, but that's over. Hear me, all of you. Your rightful Empress has returned.
All hail the Empress Delilah, first of her name. Arrest Emily Kaldwin and her father for the Crown Killer murder.
What?
Your sword can't still my heart.
How's that for a start? So it seems that she just stole his power, which would probably explain the usual RPG, like your stat screen, your skill screen just reset for the game. But this is they're rather trusting, aren't they? It's been 2 minutes and this person barely walked in and like, yeah, by the way, I'm actually Empress now, and like no one's checking this, no one's doing any careful confirmation. It's like, nope, just immediately arrest the queen. Not much loyalty from the guards here. Also, no one questioned that giant, super sworded mecha monsters were just walking into the queen's chambers. That seems like not something you'd ever let happen. Oh well. So our choices are to play as Emily Kaldwin and Corvo Attano, legendary royal protector of the Empress and figure of infamy from the time of the Rat Plague, and ruler of the Empire of the Isles, trained in stealth and combat by her father, Corvo Attano. So, it just seems natural to play as Emily, honestly, because we have might as well just Clementine it up, right? Just play the sequel as the character trained by the character from the first game. No, I did it on accident, I was joking.
I will cast you in cold marble. No! Sweet girl, over time you will come to love me. Perhaps someday you'll see me as the mother you lost. But until then, you'll be kept out of trouble.
I'll lock Lady Emily in her chambers, and then I'll bring her to Cauldron's prison until her trial. My father lost it all when I was a boy, so now I wear this uniform, and I send 20-year-olds out to patrol the rose gardens instead of drinking with the men from the shooting club.
Captain Ramsay, I heard shouting. Lady Emily, what happened?
That'll be all, Captain Mayhew.
No!
So that's the Royal Protector's fancy weapon. What kind of sword folds in half? There's a legend in the Tower Guard about the Empress's last resort, a safe room inside your chambers holding enough gold to buy a good-sized island. They say that this ring is one of the only 2 keys to exist.
That was a weird thing to explain out loud.
What happened? Alexei. The throne room. Father. Nothing I can do alone. I need to get out of here.
So 2 games in a row of starting out in as a prisoner, basically.
How long's it going to take, Captain Ramsey?
Hold your horses, Corporal. Dial.
These bastards are working with Ramsey and the Duke of Serkonos.
He's old blood. One of the good families. And now that he's helped the rightful Empress take the throne, the Ramseys are going to be back in fashion in Dunwall. You'd be smart to remember that.
Of course the bad guy of all things would be named Ramsey. Of course. Alright. Oh, hello.
The Hound Pits Pub. I can't believe it, but I actually missed those times.
The HQ from the first game. Wonder if it's still standing at this point. Kind of was left in an odd position last time. We can heal up a little bit. There we go. That's a hell of a switch, by the way. You've been... Like, she was Empress just a moment ago, and she immediately gets knocked out by being kicked in the face. That's severe. You get kicked in the face, like... Or just knocked out by an impact in general. Like, it's like some potentially permanent damage just like that. Letter from the Tivian Trade Commission. Our most esteemed Empress, as you know, freight from Serkonos bound for Tivia is now routinely set upon by pirates or spoiled with bloodflies. In addition to the loss of Tivian lives, be they crew, dock workers, or shopkeepers, there is the material cost of the cargo itself, which can barely be calculated. If things continue unchecked, we will be forced to cease trading with Serkonos, and perhaps even embargo ships from the southernmost isle altogether. But this need not come to pass. The Trade Commission is a reasonable body, and has already considered remedies to ameliorate the situation. We seek the following: independent, qualified inspectors of all parts, at all ports, patrols to defend against pirates and smugglers, compensation for the previous and future losses. It is this list of remedies that I wish to discuss with you in person at the earliest possible opportunity. So far, your staff have resisted our efforts to establish a definitive time for negotiation. Prompt them to action, Majesty, for we are eager to travel to Dunwall. Until we can sit down and discuss this in civilized fashion, I send you our best. Demian Shurigan, Principal, Tivian Trade Commission. Gotta say, so far, this place is... Between the 2 games so far, I gotta say this is a miserable place to live in. If I was one of these characters, I'd probably just give up and leave. And just try to go to a different country. It's just not worth it so far. Ship launch protocol. I said protocol. Ship launch protocol. Empress, after the Royal Protector's Shakedown cruise, will launch the ISS Emily Kaldwin just before the anniversary of your mother's passing, pending your approval, of course. On the platform, we'll have a bottle of King Street brandy tied to a long tether that you can release and swing out against the hull. What you say during the ceremony is, of course, up to you, but here are some ideas intended to serve as food for thought. May a brisk wind hurry you to shores near, far, and fair. May you shelter your crew from the perils of terrible ocean. May you always sail for Crystal, true of heart, and homeward bound. Yours faithfully, Advisor Wainwright. So they named a ship after her dead mother, and launched it right just now. Is it gone yet, or is it still out there? Is the question. Oh, I can totally climb out this window. That might be the ship right there.
How many times have I looked at that skyline? It feels like everything just changed.
Is that ship going to be my escape? Yeah, that escaping on a ship named after your mother would make sense, more or less. Is anything else going to be interesting here? Because there's a lot of documents around here, apparently. What does typewriter do? Oh. It's probably just useful for making some noise. Advisor Helmswater. Empress, we face yet another murder, and I cannot remain silent on this matter. Strange, is it not, that all victims have openly opposed you? If not strange, then oh, so very convenient. Is there anything you wish to tell me, Majesty? How can it be advisor if you do not include me in these most sensitive endeavors? I feel I must be the only person in Dunwall who doesn't know the truth about the Crown Killer. Don't leave me out in the cold. I remain your trusted servant and advisor, Leonora Helmswater. So is that the woman that just died right in front of us? Because I guess we're not going to be giving her much more information.
Pick a place to hide for a while. I need time to think.
I mean, I would condone that idea, sure. Let's go ahead and pop down a quick save, because I'm totally going to try to hop out that window, just to see if it works. How's that training panning out for you, Emily? Do you think you can make it to that water? She's... Oh. We might not have the clearance I was hoping for here. Nope. You should be able to climb on that, frankly, but it's not. But it doesn't count as a climbing item. Let's find out. There's no way this works. Ow. First of all, her momentum stopped immediately. That was remarkable. Not only did her momentum completely stop in midair, but obviously did not work. How amazing would that be, though? That's like the beginning of Pirates of the Caribbean 4, I want to say, or the one that didn't have a proper number. He just jumped out a window. Do we have any escape directions besides the front door? Don't think so. What happens if I play with this? Do they care? I'm inside of a room.
I used to hide frogs in this old grandfather clock to drive the housekeepers mad. I thought life was complicated back then.
Must go off eventually. Did they react to that at all? It's in here, so they shouldn't care, I assume. Royal quarters key needed, so I need to look for the key still. Did they make the mistake of leaving it in here? Or is it the, maybe it's the other ring. They made reference to the ring, so maybe I need to find a second one on or near the computer? I mean, the computer. The, desk? Or maybe just hop out the other window. I'm now behind this thing. Is this an escape? Locked from the inside. Aha. It is my escape. Oh, those are all dead.
Delilah is some sort of witch. How is this possible?
Lady Emily, where's the Royal Protector?
There's a coup underway. My father is... he's imprisoned, for lack of a better word.
You've got to get out of the tower. Through your safe room. There was a captain earlier today, down at the docks, looking for the Royal Protector. Find her. Get out of Dunwall.
Alexei, I'm sorry. Goodbye.
So as expected, we are going away on a boat. A lot of dead bodies here, so she took out all of them, huh? But not unscathed. Is there anything noteworthy around here? Hello.
This won't open without my ring. Ramsey has it.
Well, then we're gonna have to...
Signet ring.
We're gonna have to find Ramsey then. Careful now. Let's just take you with us into the corpse room. So we have a key now, but not the kind of key we're necessarily looking for. Listening for footsteps. Someone's nearby. That was dangerous. Forgot to check normally. Is there anything useful in here besides what I grabbed already? Just money lying around, or... Nope, those are socks. Thought they were daggers for a moment there. There's a lot of food options around here. Oh, right. Audience request. Captain Mayhew, you don't know me, but you've got to tell the Royal Protector that I have urgent need of his time. I am carrying a message that has to be delivered face to face. Tell him I'm working with Anton Sokolov, an old friend. All the boats are being sent away from the docks, but I'll delay as long as I can. Tell Lord Corvo to find me there. My ship is called the Dreadful Whale. Megan Foster. I wonder if we're going to reunite with the old crew at all. Just as a whole. Or whoever's left. Yeah, that's the issue. There's only so much old crew left because a lot of them turn out to be not on our side.
Emily, I know times are hard, nations, and I won't pretend to understand the pressure you're under. Only you, and your mother before you, could know what that's like. Whoever's killing off your enemies is doing so for calculated effect, undermining us. I do know what it's like to be blamed for murders you didn't commit, but trust me, we'll find this crown killer, and they'll pay. Tomorrow is the anniversary of her death. A sad day for sure. But I want you to remember all that's happened over the last 15 years. You've held on to the throne, and you've done what you thought was right for the people of the Empire. You drained the flooded district, kept the gangs in check, and yesterday we launched a magnificent ship bearing Jessamine's name. You're becoming the sovereign your mother wanted you to be, and I'm proud of you.
And now you're a statue. Because apparently carbonite is the direction we're going with in this game. Anyone around? Just trying to listen around as we go around corners to make sure I don't walk directly into something. Because I think we lack virtually any powers that I'm used to having from the previous game for the moment. Because I don't think she has the, I don't think she's been touched at all or marked the way that he was, even at this point. More bodies. This place might be surprisingly empty, actually. They were thorough, if nothing else. The Crown Killer strikes again. Dunwall citizens express shock and fear as yet another outspoken critic of Empress Emily Kaldwin has met with a violent demise. The latest victim is none other than Ichabod Boyle, notable entrepreneur and supporter of the arts. Boyle recently wrote an opinion piece harshly criticizing the Empress for what he called her slipshod style of governance and her willing neglect of duties. Authorities are convinced the Crown Killer is the culprit, given the gruesome details left at the crime scene. As Her Majesty's most outspoken adversaries fall, one by one, to this notorious assassin, we boldly ask, is it now the duty of the Royal Protector to murder all who dare to criticize the throne? Not very good journalists, are they? Necessarily, just flat out pointing the finger at the at somebody who there's not really necessarily even evidence to think that they're the bad guy. Careful, careful, careful. Ah. Careful and quiet. Anyone around here?
Traitors.
No one's really watching around here. Just gonna dump you around the corner. Got anything on you? No. So you can kill them with left click. If you want to be a monster about it. Gee, everyone's freaking dead. Bad times. Oh. Didn't break. Thought I might be able to loot that as a money item. There's a lot of cabinets around here. I gotta stop looking at these. This is becoming a problem already. Oh no, this is a room where you could break stuff for attention. Hide around in this corner and ambush somebody.
With the throne room blocked off, we should have the time we need. Just stay here and stall anyone who comes by. I'll be back when I've searched the royal chambers, assuming I don't accidentally lock myself in this damn safe room.
We'll cover for you if anyone from the Duke's party returns. This is exciting. Everything's changing.
Yes, the natural order is reasserting itself. The Ramseys once hosted the King and Queen of Morley. Did you know that? I spent my childhood playing with the Buntings and the Boyles, the cream of society.
And very...
I gotta wonder, are they gonna stay put or are they gonna walk around? So we can either eliminate Ramsey or just take off with the passageway. All we have is the royal quarters key, which lets us in the next door. You either knock him out or kill him.
Very soon you'll be back at the top, Captain.
Oh, now they're gonna disperse. I thought they were gonna hang out and talk for a while.
Ramsay's family fell from the aristocracy, and apparently the man holds a grudge. How it's my fault, that's beyond me. But one way or another, Ramsay is too dangerous to be left in play.
So there's a few of them wandering around. Is he walking around this corner? Oh, he's going out that door. There's no way. I thought he was gonna. I thought I'd have to go through everybody to get to him. Don't be alarmed, but you deserve this.
This won't leave my hand again.
I'm surprised they noticed bodies. Just because there's so many bodies everywhere, I'm surprised they even notice when a specific character goes down. Spare uniforms? Did they say that? Alright, so he's knocked out. I have to place him in the safe room. Okay, sure. We have access now, so that's fine. The Imperial Signet, one of 2 signet rings made for the Empress and Royal Protector, so the other one's on Corvo and now part of a statue. These rings are served as the keys, the safe room within Dunwall Tower. These are all the things we found along the way. Oh, this is new. The travel log. Long day in Dunwall. New year. We're starting a new year. Maybe 1852 will be less boring than 1851. I can't wait for Wyman to go back to Dunwall. We'll go to the abandoned mansion I discovered the other night at the edge of Rudshore. Maybe I'll have time to turn it into a scary haunted house beforehand, using sheets and hiding an old audiograph upstairs. Wyman used to love that. We'll get spooked and hold hands, screaming and laughing. Come on, Emily, you promised to be more serious and to listen to that court. And you're already planning your next escape. Let's start this diary again. Proposals for a new decree on whale oil rationing and distribution. ... nothing. Just nothing. The anniversary. This time of year again. Anniversary of my mother's death. There's no real time for reflection, though. It's all security protocols, menus, guest lists, and it's impossible to slip out at night. I feel like a caged bird. They've already got me memorizing this year's speech. It's endless. Would it be so terrible if I just said that I said what I remember about her? That wink she gave me, even when she was scolding me, after I was caught climbing the statue of my grandfather. The sound of her footsteps as she paced at night. The time we shared a cabin on the boat trip to Driscoll. Or the time she agreed to let Corvo teach me to fish, but then had to pull a hook for my arm. Now that would be a speech. That would be more interesting. All the personal details of a deceased empress instead of boring stuff like, oh, she was great, and we did work good, and everybody wanted the kingdom to be a good kingdom. So exciting. Best story ever. So, just fantastic, really. Hey there.
Anton Sokolov made this lock.
Awkward how you have to drop him on the floor in order to walk into the safe room. There you go. You live here now. Screw you. What happens when I lock him in here anyway? What's the outcome of that? Is it just to make him hard to find, or am I doing some other thing?
This could be handy.
So we have a healing elixir. Bone charms. Book on sailing traditions in Scrimshaw. Bone charms, a sailing's blessing, they say. The carving itself is a practice from long back, passed from salty dogs to young greenhorns still finding their sea legs. In old times, sailor cut into the tusks of ice seals and into arm-long fangs of bears that roamed the islets north of Tivia. Once the whaling trade began, the practitioners began engraving the bones of these great beasts, rendering charms that sing in the night and grant some small boon, increasing a lover's vigor or providing defense against pregnancy. Yeah, that sounds legit. It's my magical anti-pregnancy bone.
I have a feeling I'll need these.
Is that how she sees? Yeah, it is. So Corvo has a super mask, but this guy, she's just, her spyglass is just literally a spyglass that she whips out apparently and looks down. I was wondering how that was going to work, because the cover of the game shows her just a normal face with like a bandana over her mouth and that's it. Whereas Corvo has like a weird like cyber mask that gives him weird powers, like the ability to zoom in his eyesight. Hello, can I open these? They are mine.
The reserves won't help against Delilah, even if I had a way to carry it all out of here.
Those are some big things of gold, as she said.
I'll eat this.
Got to grab that one though. That's a start. Anything else about? Half these giant gold blocks aren't even in safes or anything. They must just really not expect anyone to actually get in here. Besides me, of course. A Corvo Attano Royal Protector of Our Times Part 2. Where's Part 1? Is it? Did I miss it, or is it in the previous game? Oh, there's Part 1. We got histories about him. Letter from Wyman. Emily, I didn't want to wake you this morning, but you'll forgive me, since we must have said goodbye 100 times yesterday night, and the only chance I get to see you, with your hair all whichever way, is while you're asleep. As soon as the sun rises, you'll put on your Empress face. It makes me happy that I know your real face, the one that laughs at our silly rhymes. I don't want to go back to Morley, but I'm needed there. It'll be 4 months before we see each other again. I'll miss you, and yes, I'll bring you some white leaf tobacco for your hookah. Lord Corvo, if you're reading this letter as per your royal protector functions, know that I am joking and perfectly aware that the white leaf tobacco is forbidden in Bristol. Take care, my darling Emily. Don't go falling out from a rooftop. I love you. Wyman. Corvo, you reading their letters? What's that?
Old Samuel made this. I'm glad he didn't live to see me driven out of Dunwall Tower.
Samuel's dead? Aw. I didn't need to know that. Now I'm sad. You guys went and made me sad. So we were way down there, and there's actually a map of the entire map. The entire game world, more or less. I wonder if we're actually going to explore it in this game, because we obviously just stuck to Dunwall last time. Let's take a look. Corvo Attano, Royal Protector in Our Times, Part 1. His parents were older at the time of his birth, and his father died in a lumber accident outside the city when Corvo was still young. Around that time, his only sibling, a firstborn sister, moved away to Morley, and the family subsequently lost all contact with her. Only 16, Corvo dazzled the people of Karnaca when he entered and won the annual Blade Verbena. The spectators from all over Sorkonos were thrilled to see someone so young and striking, from a working-class family, advance through duel after duel, eventually taking their prize. This unexpected outcome secured Corvo a junior officer ranking in the Grand Serkonan Guard. As a soldier, he was involved in a number of conflicts against organized criminal groups, rogue city-states within Serkonos, and pirate bands along the chain of islands radiating east from Serkonos. Sent from his homeland at the age of 18 by the Duke of Serkonos, then Theodenis Abil, father of Luca Abil, Corvo was assigned to serve the Emperor in Dunwall as a diplomatic gift. His Serkonan heritage made him a bit of an outsider in Dunwall, but the capital city must have seemed exotic and full of old-world mystery. A few months after he moved to Dunwall, it was recorded that Corvo received word that his mother had passed away several weeks after his departure from Karnaca. That's a detail I don't think I've heard before. So his mother died pretty much as soon as he left home. Part 2. In an act of rebellion, young Emily Kaldwin, who chose Corvo as her royal protector when Corvo was 19 and she was 12. He served her loyally as a bodyguard, courier, and some say spy, before and after she was crowned empress. Though it was scandalous gossip at the time, it is said they began a love affair around 1823 when Jessamine was 18 and Corvo 25. The next chapter of Attano's life is like something out of a legend. During the time of the Rat Plague, when the Empress fell, Corvo was accused of regicide and sentenced for execution. He was thrown into Coleridge prison and publicly reviled. He escaped and as part of a small conspiracy dedicated to throwing down the tyrannical Lord Regent, Corvo struck back at the people who killed the Empress and who wronged him. As the Lord Regent fell, the Loyalist conspiracy turned on Corvo, poisoning him. Surviving, through some inner resilience, he located the true assassin of the Empress and fought his way out of the flooded district. Corvo eventually cornered the last of the Loyalists on King Sparrow Island at the Burrows Lighthouse and rescued Emily Kaldwin, heir to the throne. The romantic involvement between Corvo Attano and Empress Jessamine Kaldwin was a terribly kept court secret, and thus it is widely held that Emily Kaldwin is their daughter. Following the interregnum, Corvo watched over Emily as she began the rule of Empress of the Isles. That all flows because she even calls Corvo her father. I'm amused a bit by the fact that they are so vague with that entire explanation, specifically because let's lock this, by the way. That's what I'm supposed to lock. I'm supposed to lock him in here after all.
Now you've got what you wanted, Ramsay. The Imperial suite atop Dunwall Tower. Stay put until this is all set straight, Ramsay. Enjoy the rations and well water, sleeping next to a fortune.
That's actually really amusing. So he's straight up gonna get locked in here. He'll survive because there's food and stuff to survive in here with, but he has no way in and out because he doesn't have the ring. So he got exactly where he wanted to be, but now he's trapped. But I'm amused by the fact that they're so incredibly vague with their entire explanation of last game's events because of the fact that you could behave radically different and make all these decisions as Corvo, and they just kind of skipped over them more or less. There's 2 Whispers from the Void books here too, by Barnoli Milani. Treatise on physical existence of that foreign realm. It is a common story. A person has stopped breathing, pinned under carriage wheels for or some other tragic happenstance, and it is thought to be dead. But when the weight is removed, they make a quick recovery. But nonetheless, for a moment or two, that person was lost to us, lost to the world itself. And what did they experience while in this temporary death? Darkness? Nothingness? No, indeed not. They tell us, as so many before have, that they were in a particular place, and can describe it vividly. And who among us does not know that place? Have we not all seen it in our dreams, this place we share in the farthest reaches of our minds, the realm where nothing makes sense, where one is at once both lost and home, the void? These little glimpses of the void in dreams, or described by those awoken from comas, are not limited to select few. In my interviews, I've gleaned that there is not a single citizen without such visions, at one time or another. This, then, must be a real place, not folklore or mass delusion. Perhaps it exists deep below the earth, or far above it. Perhaps it is right next to us but hidden, some trick of the light or wondrous curtain bars. Some trick of the light or wondrous curtain bars us from fully knowing it, and we all but wait for a natural philosopher to unlock the phenomenon, to show us how to see it at will. But when we revealed, it will not be a fearsome place any longer, not the distant and special realm described in the myth of the outsider. It will be strange, yes, even unsettling, but nonetheless it will be a new realm for us to explore and eventually conquer. What new treasures await us there? Are the lakes made of liquid diamond? The clouds of weightless silver gas? And what things we would learn? So the decent little reference to the place that we can find it's scientific minds who can't actually access it, discussing concepts revolving like this bizarre void that people encounter in their dreams, which is the same source of power that Corvo taps into to do what he does. So is this the end of the level, or is this something else? Let's go.